A heart monitor beeping rapidly. Beep, 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 flatline. Then sudden silence. Then, a loud booming church organ playing Here Comes the Bride. I died on a rainy Tuesday. I remembered the cold hospital room. I remembered my husband Alex laughing as he signed the Do Not Resuscitate order. I remembered my stepsister Tiffany wearing my diamonds holding his hand. And I remembered Sebastian King, my enemy, the ruthless billionaire I had spent my life fighting. He burst into the room covered in blood, gun in hand, screaming my name as he took a bullet meant for me. The last thing I saw was his tears falling on my face. The last thing I heard was, "I loved you, always." Then, darkness. Church bells ringing loud. The smell of overwhelming lilies. A tight corset restricting breathing. My eyes snapped open. Light. Blinding white light. I wasn't in a hospital. I was standing. I looked down. White silk. Lace. A bouquet of white roses in my trembling hands. I looked up. Alex was standing in front of me. But he wasn't the older, cruel Alex who killed me. He was younger, smug, handsome in a cheap, superficial way. He was smiling that fake smile that used to make my knees weak. "Bella," Alex whispered, leaning in. "Baby, you zoned out. The priest is waiting." I gasped, the air rushing into my lungs. I looked around. The grand cathedral, the hundreds of guests. My father alive and sitting in the front row. Tiffany standing beside me as the maid of honor pretending to wipe a tear. I knew this day. It was 5 years ago, my wedding day. The day I signed my death warrant. I was back. God gave me a do-over. "Do you, Isabella Ross, take Alexander Croft to be your lawfully wedded husband?" the priest asked, his voice echoing. Silence. The entire church held its breath. Alex squeezed my hand, hard, painful. A warning. "Say I do, Bella. The cameras are rolling." I looked at him. I saw the greed in his eyes. He didn't see a bride. He saw my inheritance. I looked at Tiffany. She was smirking behind her bouquet, probably texting her lover, my fiancé. Rage, hot and volcanic, erupted in my chest. I yanked my hand away from Alex. "No," I said. The word was a whisper, but in the silence it sounded like a gunshot. Alex laughed nervously. "What, baby, stop joking." I said no. I shouted, my voice ringing off the vaulted ceiling. I threw my bouquet. It hit Alex square in the chest. "I wouldn't marry you if you were the last man on earth, Alex Croft. You are a cheater, a liar, and a parasite." Gasps from the crowd. "Oh my God. Did she just say that?" Chairs scraping. "Bella?" My father stood up. "Have you lost your mind?" "I've found it, Dad," I snapped. I turned my back on the altar. I scanned the crowd. Where is he? I knew he was here. In my past life, he told me he came to my wedding to stop it, but he lost his nerve. He stood in the shadows. There, in the last row, hidden in the darkest corner, Sebastian King. He looked formidable. A dark suit, broad shoulders, a face carved from granite. His eyes, black as obsidian, were fixed on me with intense pain. He looked like he was attending a funeral. My heart slammed against my ribs. He is alive. He is here. I picked up my heavy skirts and ran. I ran past my confused father. I ran past the shocked guests. I ran straight to the monster everyone told me to fear. I stopped right in front of him. Sebastian stood up slowly. He towered over me. He looked confused, wary. "Isabella," he rumbled, his voice deep and dangerous. "What game are you playing?" "No game," I breathed, looking up at him. "I made a mistake, Sebastian. A terrible mistake." "Go back to your groom," he sneered, though I saw his hand twitch, wanting to reach for me. "He's waiting." "He's not my groom," I declared loud enough for the room to hear. I reached out and grabbed Sebastian's lapels. I pulled him down. The crowd went silent again. Sebastian King, I said clearly. You have been trying to buy my company for 3 years. You said you wanted to merge our empires. Sebastian's eyes narrowed. I did. Does that offer still stand? It does. I took a deep breath. Then take the merger, I whispered. But there's a condition. You have to take the CEO too. I got down on one knee. Yes, the bride knelt before the villain. Marry me, Sebastian, I proposed. Right now. Take me away from here. Sebastian stared down at me. His mask cracked. Shock, disbelief, and then a hunger so raw it terrified me. You hate me, he whispered harshly. You called me a heartless tyrant. I was wrong, I said, tears pricking my eyes. Please, save me. That was the trigger. Sebastian didn't just say yes. He bent down, grabbed my arm, and pulled me to my feet. He didn't ask the priest. He didn't ask my father. He leaned down and kissed me. It was a possessive, territorial kiss. He marked me in front of 500 people. If I take you, he growled against my lips, I keep you. There is no divorce in my world, Isabella. I'm counting on it. I smiled. Stop. Alex came running down the aisle, his face red with humiliation. Get your hands off her, King. She's having a mental breakdown, Bella. Come here. Alex reached for me. Sebastian didn't even look at him. He caught Alex's hand in midair and twisted it. Crack! Alex screamed, dropping to his knees. Touch my wife again, Sebastian said calmly, and I will buy the hospital you crawl into just to unplug your life support. He wrapped his arm around my waist, shielding me from the world. Let's go, Mrs. King, he said. We have a wedding night to attend to. We walked out of the church together, leaving chaos in our wake. I didn't look back at Alex. I didn't look back at my past. I looked at the man beside me, the villain. This time I was going to give him the happy ending he died for. A heavy thunderstorm outside, tires screeching on gravel, a car door slamming, heavy angry footsteps echoing on marble floors. Sebastian's penthouse was exactly like him. Dark, cold, and dangerously beautiful. He dragged me inside, his grip on my wrist tight enough to leave bruises. He didn't turn on the lights. The only illumination came from the lightning flashing through the floor-to-ceiling windows. He released me abruptly. I stumbled, my wedding dress rustling loudly in the silence. Explain, Sebastian growled, loosening his tie and throwing it on the floor. He paced the room like a caged tiger. 5 hours ago, you looked at me with disgust. Now you're wearing my ring. Why is this a ploy to save your father's failing company? Did Alex put you up to this? I watched him. My heart ached. In my past life, I never saw this side of him. I only saw the cold businessman. I never saw the man who was terrified that I was using him. No ploy, I said softly, taking a step towards him. No Alex. Just me, choosing you. Sebastian stopped pacing. He laughed a harsh, bitter sound. Choosing me. He walked up to me, towering over me, his obsidian eyes burning. You don't choose the villain, Isabella. You run from him. Tell me the truth. What do you want? Money, power, revenge on your cheating fiancé? I want you, I whispered. Liar. He slammed his hand against the wall next to my head, trapping me. Do not lie to me. I have wanted you since we were 18. I watched you date that loser for 5 years. I watched you smile at him. Do you know what that did to me? His confession hung in the air, raw and bleeding. He admitted it. He loved me since we were 18. I reached up and touched his face. He flinched, but he didn't pull away. I know, I said, my voice trembling. I was blind, Sebastian. I was stupid, but I see you now. I ran my thumb over his lower lip. I see the man who would burn the world for me. Sebastian shuddered. He closed his eyes, leaning into my touch. If you are playing a game, he rasped, I will kill you. I will not survive losing you again. Then don't lose me, I challenged him. Claim me. I reached back and unzipped my dress. The heavy silk pooled at my feet. I stood before him in my white lace lingerie. Sebastian's eyes snapped open. He looked down at my body. His pupils dilated until his eyes were almost black. Isabella, he groaned, a sound of pure torture. Cover yourself. No, I said, stepping out of the pile of silk. I am your wife. Unless you don't want me. That snapped the last thread of his control. Don't want you. He grabbed my waist, lifting me off the ground effortlessly. I have dreamed of this every night for a decade. He carried me to the bedroom. He didn't put me down gently. He threw me onto the bed. He climbed over me, tearing off his shirt. Buttons flew across the room. His body was magnificent. Hard muscles scarred from fights I knew nothing about. He hovered over me, bracing his weight on his arms. He looked like he wanted to devour me whole. Last chance, he warned, his voice guttural. If I touch you now, there is no going back. You belong to me, mind, body, and soul. I will be jealous. I will be possessive. I will never let you leave this bed. I'm not leaving, I promised, wrapping my legs around his waist. Show me, Sebastian. Show me how much you hate me. He kissed me. It wasn't a kiss, it was an invasion. His tongue swept into my mouth, demanding submission. He tasted of whiskey and desperation. His hands were everywhere, rough, possessive, desperate to map every inch of my skin that he had been denied for so long. He ripped my lace panties. He didn't have patience for delicacy. Mine, he growled against my neck, biting down hard enough to leave a mark. Mine. Yes, I gasped, arching my back. Yours. When he entered me, he didn't hold back. He thrust deep, claiming me with a primal rhythm. I cried out, digging my nails into his back. It was intense. It was overwhelming. It was the collision of two souls who had lost each other in one life and found each other in another. Look at me, he commanded, gripping my chin. Who am I? Sebastian. I panted. Who am I? He thrust harder. My husband, I screamed. You're my husband. He roared my name, pouring himself into me, binding us together in a way no contract ever could. He collapsed on top of me, burying his face in my neck, his heavy breathing matching mine. I love you, he whispered into my skin, his voice broken. God help me, I love you. I held him tight, tears streaming down my face. I know, I whispered back, and I'm never letting you go again. Thunder fades. Rain continues softly. Heavy breathing slows down. An hour later, we lay tangled in the sheets. The room was quiet. Sebastian was tracing patterns on my arm, his touch possessive. Tomorrow, he said, his voice back to its cold business tone, I will destroy Alex Croft. I smiled, resting my chin on his chest. No, I said. We will destroy him. Together. Sebastian looked down at me. A slow, wicked smirk spread across his face. I like the sound of that, Mrs. King. And Tiffany, I added, my eyes hardening. She's next. Whatever you want, my queen, he kissed my forehead. Even if you want the moon, I'll buy it. I looked at the window where the storm had passed. I had my vengeance plan. I had my billionaire husband. And this time I wasn't the victim. I was the villain's wife. And God help anyone who stood in our way. Elevator ding. High heels clicking confidently on marble floors. Whispers. Is that her? I can't believe she showed up. The morning after my wedding, the world was on fire. Every newspaper, every blog, every TV channel was talking about the runaway bride who married the billionaire villain. They called me crazy. They called Sebastian a predator. Good. Let them talk. While they talked, we worked. I walked into the headquarters of King Enterprises. Yesterday, I was the disgraced daughter of a failing company. Today, I was Mrs. Sebastian King. I wore a sharp black suit, red lipstick, and the massive diamond ring Sebastian had put on my finger. I wasn't here to play house. I was here to hunt. I walked straight into the conference room. Inside, my father, Alex, and Tiffany were sitting with Sebastian's lawyers. They looked smug. They thought they could annul the marriage. They thought they could drag me back. When I entered, Alex stood up furious. "Bella, what the hell are you doing here? You need to come home. Dad is worried sick." I ignored him. I walked to the head of the table where Sebastian was sitting. He looked like a king on his throne, cold, imposing, bored. But when he saw me, his eyes lit up with a dark fire. "Your late wife," he drawled, extending a hand. I took it. He pulled me close, kissing my knuckles. "I had to pick out a new wardrobe." I smiled. "Since my family threw mine out." Tiffany scoffed. "Oh, please, you're just a trophy wife now, Bella. Sebastian will get bored of you in a week." I turned to my stepsister. "Tiffany, the girl who pushed me down the stairs in my past life, the girl who slept with my husband while I was dying." "Tiffany," I said sweetly, "I see you're wearing that limited edition Cartier bracelet, the one Alex bought with my company's credit card." Alex paled. "Bella, that's not true." "Shut up, Alex." I cut him off. I threw a folder onto the table. It slid across the polished wood and stopped in front of my father. "What is this?" my father asked. "Evidence," I said. "Proof that Alex has been embezzling money from our family company for 2 years, and proof that Tiffany knew about it." Tiffany stood up screeching. "Liar, you're just jealous because Alex loves me more than you." "Love." I laughed. "He doesn't love you, Tiffany. He loves your access to Dad's accounts." I looked at Sebastian. He was watching me with pride. He leaned back, crossing his arms. "Go on," he encouraged. "Finish them." I turned back to the table. "The Project Phoenix merger you're trying to push through today." I pointed at the documents in front of them. "It's a trap. The land you're buying is contaminated. The EPA is going to announce it tomorrow. If you sign that deal, the company goes bankrupt by Friday." My father looked shocked. "How? How do you know that?" "I knew because in my past life, that deal destroyed us. Alex pushed for it, took a kickback, and let the company burn." "I know because I'm smarter than you gave me credit for Dad," I said coldly. "Sebastian." I turned to my husband. "Don't sign the deal with them. Buy the land adjacent to it instead. The government is planning a highway expansion there next year. Value will triple." Sebastian smirked. He picked up the contract Alex had prepared and ripped it in half. Sound, FX paper tearing loudly. "You heard my wife," Sebastian said. "The deal is off." "You can't do this," Alex shouted, lunging across the table. Sebastian didn't even flinch. His security guard stepped forward, blocking Alex. "Get them out," Sebastian ordered. "And Alex, if I see you near my wife again, I'll have you arrested for fraud. I have the files now." Security dragged a screaming Tiffany and a protesting Alex out of the room. My father sat there stunned, looking at me like he didn't know me. "Bella," he whispered. "Go home, Dad," I said softly. "And check your bank accounts before Tiffany drains them dry." He stood up shakily and left. The room was quiet, just me and Sebastian. He stood up and walked over to me. He wrapped his arms around my waist, pulling me flush against him. "You were magnificent," he murmured, nuzzling my neck. "How did you know about the highway expansion? Even I didn't know that." "I have good intuition," I lied. I couldn't tell him I was from the future, not yet. "Intuition," he chuckled darkly. "Remind me never to play poker with you." He lifted me up and sat me on the conference table. "We have an hour before the next meeting," he whispered, his hand sliding up my thigh. Sebastian, I gasped, looking at the glass walls. People can see. Let them look, he growled, kissing me hard. Let them see who owns this city and who owns me. Birds chirping, coffee pouring, acoustic guitar music in background. Living with Sebastian was unexpected. I thought he would be a workaholic, distant, but he was clingy. I was in the kitchen making toast. Sebastian came up behind me, wrapping his arms around me, resting his chin on my shoulder. Stop working, he mumbled into my hair. Come back to bed. It's 10 a.m., Sebastian. You have a company to run. I'll buy the company and shut it down, he threatened playfully. I want you. He turned me around. He was wearing gray sweatpants and nothing else. The scars on his chest were visible in the sunlight. I traced one over his heart. Where did you get this? I asked softly. He flinched slightly. A long time ago, he said evasively. A fight I almost lost. I knew the truth. In my past life, I found out he got that scar defending me from a stalker when we were in college. He never told me. He just protected me from the shadows. You're a hero, Sebastian, I whispered, kissing the scar. Even if you pretend to be a villain. He gripped my waist, pulling me closer. His eyes were intense. I'm no hero, Bella. I've done terrible things. I've ruined men. I've broken laws. I know, I said, and I love you anyway. He looked at me with such raw vulnerability, it broke my heart. Why, he asked. Why do you love me? Because, I said, looking deep into his obsidian eyes, in a world full of people who only wanted to use me, you are the only one who just wanted me. He kissed me then, a slow, sweet kiss that tasted of coffee and redemption. But our peace was short-lived. Phone ringing, sharp, insistent. Sebastian groaned and picked it up. What? He barked. He listened for a moment. His face hardened. The lover vanished. The ruthless CEO returned. When? He asked. Okay, keep him there. I'm coming. He hung up. He looked at me. It's Alex, he said. He's not giving up. He tried to sell the embezzlement story to the press, claiming you framed him. I laughed. He's desperate. He's dangerous, Sebastian corrected. A cornered rat bites. Get dressed, Bella. We're going to pay him a visit. Are we going to hurt him? I asked. Sebastian smirked that dark, wicked smirk I was starting to crave. No, he said. We're going to destroy him, legally, publicly, and permanently. Camera shutters clicking like machine gun fire, reporters shouting questions. Mr. Croft, is it true? Is Bella King the mastermind? The hum of a live broadcast van. Alex Croft had always loved the spotlight. He was a narcissist who fed on attention like a vampire feeds on blood. Today he had called a press conference at the Four Seasons Hotel. He promised explosive revelations about the scandalous King marriage. He thought he was holding court. He didn't know he was digging his own grave. Sebastian and I watched the live feed from the back of his limousine. On the screen, Alex was crying. Fake tears, of course. Bella was manipulated, Alex sobbed into the microphones. Sebastian King threatened her family. He forced her to marry him to seize our assets. I have proof. He held up a flash drive. This drive contains emails proving King Enterprises blackmailed my fiancé. Sebastian chuckled darkly beside me. He's creative. I'll give him that. He's desperate, I corrected, checking my lipstick in the mirror. Are you ready, husband? Born ready. The limo stopped. We stepped out. Chaos. Screams. It's Sebastian King. Bella is here. We didn't answer questions. We walked straight into the hotel ballroom. Sebastian's security team parted the crowd like the Red Sea. Alex was mid-sentence when we entered. And that is why I am suing for annulment. He froze. His mouth hung open. Continue, Sebastian said, his voice booming without a microphone. I'm fascinated by this fiction. Alex rallied, pointing a finger at Sebastian. You monster? You stole her. Actually. I stepped forward, taking a microphone from a stunned reporter. I ran away. From you. And it was the best decision of my life. Alex glared at me. Bella, don't do this. I know he's controlling you. Just come back to me. I forgive you. Forgive me, I laughed. Alex, let's talk about forgiveness. Let's talk about the $5 million you siphoned from my father's retirement fund into an offshore account in the Caymans. Alex turned pale. That's a lie. Is it? Sebastian signaled to his lawyer. The giant screens behind Alex suddenly changed. Instead of Alex's evidence, they displayed bank statements. Account holder Alexander Croft. Transfer $5,000. Recipient Tiffany Ross. The room exploded. Reporters gasped. Tiffany! Someone shouted. Her sister. Yes. I confirmed, my voice cold as ice. My loving fiancé was stealing from my father to fund his affair with my stepsister. I turned to the cameras. Alex didn't call this press conference to save me. He called it to distract you while he tried to flee the country. Unfortunately for him. I pointed to the back of the room. Police officers were walking in. The FBI has frozen his assets. And that flash drive, I pointed to the drive in Alex's hand. It's empty, just like his soul. Alex looked at the police. He looked at me. You bitch! He screamed, lunging at me. Sebastian moved faster than thought. He stepped in front of me, catching Alex by the throat with one hand. He lifted Alex off his feet. I warned you, Sebastian whispered, loud enough for the cameras to pick up. Touch my wife and you die. The police rushed the stage. Sebastian dropped Alex like a sack of garbage. Take him, Sebastian ordered the officers, and add assault to the charges. As Alex was dragged away in handcuffs, screaming obscenities, Sebastian turned to me. He adjusted his suit jacket, unbothered. Are we done here, Mrs. King? One more thing, I said. I walked up to the camera. Tiffany Ross, I said directly into the lens. I know you're watching. I'm coming for you next. 2 hours later, King Enterprises. The adrenaline was still pumping through my veins. Sebastian had gone into a meeting with the legal team to finalize the destruction of Alex's shell companies. I went to my office to grab some files, but I wasn't alone. Sitting in my chair, feet up on my desk, was Tiffany. She looked disheveled. Her eyes were red from crying, but her smile was venomous. Nice show, sis, she slow clapped. You really humiliated him. How did you get in here? I demanded. I still have Dad's security codes. She shrugged. He never changes them. Get out, I said, before I call security. Not so fast. Tiffany stood up. She walked towards me. You think you've won. You think because Alex is in jail, it's over. He stole $5 million, Tiffany, and he sent it to you. You're an accomplice. The police will be here any minute. Let them come. She laughed. I have something that will make Daddy drop the charges. She placed a hand on her stomach. I'm pregnant. The world stopped. What? I'm pregnant, she repeated, her smile widening. With Alex's baby, your father's first grandchild. Do you really think he'll let his grandchild be born in prison? Or let the mother go to jail? She leaned in close. You can't touch me, Bella. Dad will protect me. He always does. I stared at her stomach. In my past life, Tiffany got pregnant too, but she lost the baby when she pushed me down the stairs. It was karma. But this time, she was using an innocent child as a shield. You're disgusting, I whispered. I'm a survivor, she countered. Now here's the deal. You drop the charges against me. You give me a $10 million settlement, and you let Alex go. Or what? Or I go to the press and tell them Sebastian got me pregnant. I blinked. Then I laughed. I laughed so hard I had to hold on to the desk. You think anyone would believe that? Why not? She smirked. Men always cheat, especially powerful ones. A little DNA test can be faked. A little rumor can destroy a marriage. She walked past me towards the door. Think about it, Bella. You have 24 hours. Just as she reached the door, it opened. Sebastian walked in. He looked at Tiffany. He looked at me laughing. What is she doing here? He asked, his voice deadly calm. She's just leaving, I said, wiping a tear of laughter from my eye. Oh, and Sebastian. She says she's pregnant with your baby. Sebastian froze. He looked at Tiffany. His expression was one of pure, unadulterated revulsion. My baby, he repeated. I would rather castrate myself with a rusty spoon than touch you. Tiffany turned red. I didn't say that. I said Alex's baby. She threatened to lie to the press. I explained to Sebastian. Unless we pay her $10 million. Sebastian closed the door and locked it. Tiffany took a step back. What are you doing? Sebastian walked towards her slowly. You threatened my wife, he said. You threatened my reputation, and now you're trying to use a child as a weapon. It's my insurance, Tiffany shrieked. Insurance! Sebastian pulled out his phone. He dialed a number. Dr. Evans. Yes, I need you to come to my office immediately. Bring a portable ultrasound machine and a DNA kit. He hung up. Tiffany paled. You can't force me. I own the hospital you go to, Sebastian said. I own the lab, and I own the police commissioner. If you are pregnant, we will verify it. Right here. Right now. Tiffany started to shake. I... You're not pregnant, are you? I guessed, seeing the panic in her eyes. Tiffany burst into tears. I just needed the money. Alex lost everything. I have nothing. You lied, Sebastian stated. Fraud, extortion, attempted blackmail. He opened the door. 2 security guards were waiting. Take her, Sebastian ordered. Hand her over to the police. Tell them to add these charges to the list. No, Bella, please help me. I'm your sister, Tiffany wailed as she was dragged away. You stopped being my sister the day you slept with my fiancé, I said quietly. The door closed. Silence returned. I sank into my chair, exhausted. Are you okay? Sebastian asked, walking over to me. She lied about the baby, I whispered. Thank God. Sebastian knelt beside my chair. He took my hands. Even if she was pregnant, he said fiercely, it wouldn't have mattered. I would never let them hurt you. I know, I said. But Sebastian, Alex said something at the press conference. What? He said you threatened my family, that you forced me. He was lying. Was he? I looked at him. In the past, before I came back. Did you ever try to stop the wedding? Sebastian looked away. He stood up and walked to the window. I did, he admitted softly. How? I went to your father the night before the wedding. I offered him $50 million to call it off, to forbid you from marrying Alex. My eyes widened. You tried to buy me. I tried to save you. He spun around. I knew Alex was a crook. I had the files even then, but your father refused. He said you were in love. He said my money couldn't buy happiness. He laughed bitterly. He was wrong. My money could have bought you a life where you didn't die. I stared at him. He had tried. Even then, even when I hated him, he tried to save me with the only tool he knew, money. You really are a villain. I smiled through tears. Trying to bribe a father for his daughter. I told you. He walked back to me, cupping my face. I would do anything for you. Even become the monster you thought I was. You're not a monster, I whispered, pulling him down for a kiss. You're just misunderstood. He kissed me back tenderly this time. So, he murmured against my lips, Alex is in jail. Tiffany is in jail. What now, my queen? Now, I said, unbuttoning his shirt. We celebrate. We didn't go home. Sebastian locked the office door. He pressed a button and the blinds on the glass walls lowered automatically. Here, I asked, raising an eyebrow. I want to erase the memory of them from this room, he growled. I want this office to smell like you. Only you. He lifted me onto his desk, sweeping the files onto the floor. You are so dramatic. I laughed. I am thorough, he corrected, stepping between my legs. He kissed me with a hunger that spoke of years of waiting. His hands were everywhere, claiming marking. Tell me, he demanded, his voice rough. Tell me you chose me, not just because of the past, but because of this. I chose you. I gasped as his hand slid under my skirt. I choose you every day, Sebastian. We made love right there in the heart of his empire. It was wild. It was messy. It was perfect. With every touch, he erased the ghost of Alex. With every kiss, he erased the pain of my past life. When it was over, we lay on the floor, wrapped in his suit jacket, watching the city lights through the cracks in the blinds. Bella, he whispered. If you really came from the future. He hesitated. Did we ever have children? I froze. In my past life, I lost my baby. It was Alex's baby, but I loved it. No, I said softly. I lost one, but it wasn't yours. Sebastian tightened his arms around me. We can change that, he said, his voice thick with emotion. If you want, in the future, our future. I looked at him, the villain who wanted to be a father. Yes, I smiled. I think I would like that. The future was no longer written in stone. It was ours to write, and it was going to be beautiful. Gentle piano music playing, the sound of waves crashing on the shore, a seagull's crying, a happy sigh. 6 months later, we were at Sebastian's private island in the Maldives, or as he called it, the no-phone zone. It was our honeymoon delayed because we had spent the last half year rebuilding my father's company and putting Alex and Tiffany behind bars for a very, very long time. I lay on a sun lounger watching my husband emerging from the ocean. Sebastian King in swimming trunks was a sight that should be illegal. Water sluiced down his scarred chest and defined abs. He pushed his wet hair back, looking for me instantly. He always looked for me. It was a habit born of 10 years of longing. He walked over, dripping wet, and leaned over me, blocking out the sun. You're burning, he murmured, touching my shoulder. I'm wearing sunscreen, Mom, I teased. He smirked. Turn over. Let me reapply. I don't trust the sun. I rolled over. His large hands, cool from the ocean and slick with oil, began to massage my back. Sebastian? Are you happy? His hands paused. He leaned down, kissing my shoulder blade. Happy is too small a word, Bella, he whispered. I am alive. For the first time. He flipped me over and kissed me upside down, tasting of salt and devotion. Now, he pulled back. Get up. I have a surprise for dinner. Another surprise? You bought me a yacht yesterday. This one is smaller. He winked. But better. Dinner was a private setup on the beach surrounded by lanterns. We ate fresh seafood and drank vintage wine. Sebastian was unusually quiet watching me eat. What? I asked, wiping my mouth. Do I have sauce on my face? No, he said softly. You just glow. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. My heart skipped a beat. Sebastian, I already have a ring. Open it. I opened the velvet box. Inside wasn't a diamond. It was a key, an old iron key. What is this? It's the key to the old library downtown, he explained. The one that was shutting down due to lack of funding. I gasped. That library was my sanctuary when I was a child. I used to hide there when my stepmother was cruel. You bought the library. I endowed it, he corrected. It's now the Isabella King Public Library. It will never close, and I had them build a private reading nook just for you in the tower. Tears streamed down my face. He didn't just buy me expensive things, he bought me pieces of my soul back. You are insane, I sobbed, laughing. I know. He smiled, satisfied. I stood up and walked around the table to sit on his lap. I wrapped my arms around his neck. I have a surprise for you too, I whispered. Sebastian stiffened. Is it bad? Is Alex appealing the sentence? No. I shook my head. It's good, I hope. I took his hand and placed it on my stomach. His eyes widened. He looked from my stomach to my face, then back to my stomach. His hand was trembling. Bella, he breathed. Are you? We're going to need a nursery in the new library. I smiled. Sebastian didn't speak. He buried his face in my stomach and let out a shuddering breath. I felt his tears soaking through my dress. The villain, the ruthless CEO, the man who scared Wall Street, was crying because he was going to be a dad. I will protect you, he swore into my skin. I will protect both of you with my life. Nothing will ever touch you. Not Alex, not the world, nothing. I stroked his hair. I know, Sebastian. I know. Children laughing, a dog barking, a birthday party ambience. Catch me, Daddy! Catch me! 5-year-old Leo ran across the garden of our estate shrieking with laughter. He had Sebastian's dark hair and my eyes. Sebastian chased him, roaring like a monster, scooping him up and tossing him into the air. Behind them, holding a toddler's hand, was me. I watched them play. My heart was so full it felt like it might burst. Alex died in prison 2 years ago. Tiffany was released on parole but moved to another state, terrified of Sebastian. They were just footnotes in our history now. Sebastian put Leo down and walked over to me. He kissed my cheek, then kissed the head of our daughter Mia. Happy birthday, Mrs. King, he whispered. It's not my birthday. I laughed. It's the anniversary of the day you ran to me in the church, he said seriously. The day my life began. He looked at me with the same intensity as that day, but the pain was gone, replaced by a deep, abiding peace. Do you ever think about it? He asked suddenly. The other life, the one where I didn't save you. I looked at the sunset. Sometimes, I admitted, I think about the girl who died alone, and I wish I could tell her. Tell her what? That the villain wasn't the bad guy. I smiled, leaning into him. He was just the hero waiting for his turn. Sebastian wrapped his arms around me and our children. I love you, Bella. In this life, in the last life, and in every life after. I love you too, Sebastian. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over our family, I realized something. I didn't just get a second chance at life. I got the life I was always meant to have, and it was perfect.